Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Mixed Text and Politics. All right, Fort Worth movie theater pulls pro-LGBT preview following public pressure. It's great news. It says the preview portrayed a horror movie antagonist as the perfect example of a queer movie icon. Oh my gosh. After public pressure from Fort Worth residents, Fort Worth Cinemark's Rave Ridgemar 13 removed a preview entitled Celebrate Pride 2023, which had been playing in theaters with children. I've actually been to this theater before. I used to work at Rave in Hurst, Texas, after they opened up in 2004. I was there for the opening. I worked there for 2 years. Lots of fun, but that's a story for another day. And I've been to the one in Ridgemar, so I know what they're talking about. We're going to watch the preview that this article is talking about.
In honor of Pride Month, we're celebrating all of the reasons why Megan has become a queer movie icon.
We queer audiences have always loved artistic camp, and one of the campiest genres out there is horror.
What the hell is that?
And horror is meant to be shocking, outrageous, fun, and Megan is all of that with style and wit.
It's insane, right?
Her pre-kill dance is very RuPaul's Drag Race with its flair. Megan.
So like compare it to RuPaul. Why do these people have to put their agenda in everything? When I was watching Megan, I didn't even think about that. I was just having a good time.
Pays homage to Beyonce's alter ego, Sasha Fierce. It's heavily inspired by Beyonce's 7-Eleven music video and the queer ballroom scene. The way Megan dances confidently through that hallway before she kills has an unexpected, humorous tone, making it one of the most memeable moments in movie history.
She is the definition of that saying, if looks could kill. Just her whole overall attitude and vibe gives me full diva.
My gosh. What is... I don't understand. So let's keep going here in this article. So I've showed you the preview of it, and this is what the mother of the child... Okay, so there was a father who took his boys to watch the movie, to watch Transformers. And that's when this preview came on. The woman, her name is Holly Plemons. She said, my children attended a PG-13 rated Transformers movie with my husband. And they were subject to this propaganda while watching the movie. The husband says, I was just looking to have a good experience with my boys for a night out to see Transformers. I did my research to make sure the movie was appropriate for my kids. He says, once in the theater, it's announced to get your drinks and snacks ready because up next is movie previews you don't want to miss. Then bam, LGBTQ propaganda in our faces. It happened so fast. I couldn't even get out of our seats fast enough to get us out of there. I felt tricked. I thought I covered all the bases to protect my children from being exposed to this. I never dreamed they would play a video like that during Transformers, which is targeted to kids and families. That was an intentional planted scheme, by the way. It was set up upcoming movie previews and getting us this instead. Theaters are no longer a safe place for children and family entertainment. See, the thing is, that's exactly why parents have a problem with this. They want to protect their kids from propaganda, from LGBTQ pride stuff being pushed in their face. And we'll get into that more. This is what the mother said. The mother posted on Facebook, and she had this to say. She made a lot of great points. Parents, please be advised that Cinemark Theaters has a preview dubbed Cinemark Movie Minute that is being played in all ages theater that push LGBTQ propaganda. Last night, my children attended the PG-13 rated Transformers with my husband, where they were subjected to this propaganda while waiting to watch the movie. Pride Month is number one, nothing more than a Marxist agenda, and two, celebration of sex. Only defined difference in the hetero community and gay communities is who they have sex with. Sex is an adult topic that children should not be subjected to, especially when trying to enjoy a movie that's geared towards children and families. I have let my complaints be known to the Cinemark, but all I could get was a sweet customer service rep who could only note my statement and submit like all other complaints. I had to push him to take my name and number as well as note that I want a call back. Since he could not assure me a call back, I'm taking this to social media so parents are informed of what their children may see at movies during previews. She said, my final plea to parents, you are being manipulated to believe that celebrating Pride Month with your kids is teaching them acceptance in others and love is love. That's garbage. It's an agenda to divide and desensitize our society. Absolutely right. I have never subjected my children to anything pride related, and my children are extremely kind to all human beings, regardless of the race, gender, appearance, and sexual orientation. She said, my oldest son works on Oaklawn in Dallas, where a good majority of his customers are LGBTQ. He has no problems with them, and they have no problems with him, because he treats them like every other person who enters the restaurant, with kindness like any other human being. Teaching kindness does need to include Pride Month activities that promote a specific type of sexual orientation. Like I've stated before, I will never support creating a special class of citizens, ever. We are all created equal regardless of race, gender, and sexual orientation, religious association, or political affiliation. Protect your children's innocence at all costs. They are children and deserve to have the innocence while we carry the adult burdens of the world for them. And she is absolutely right. This is what I've been trying to stress, and what so many others are trying to stress about why this is a problem with this LGBTQ nonsense. When they push it on kids, let kids be kids. Let them have their innocence and enjoy being a child or a teenager or whatever it is. And then if they, then they're going to come into contact with this stuff later on. They're going to have to see this stuff later on in life, as I did. When I was a kid, I didn't have this stuff pushed on me. I found out later on what this meant. When I got into high school and I got older, I got into my adult years, and I see the world for what it is now. But this is what the issue is with parents have. They want their kids to be kids, and the pride stuff. Yeah, you learn about that later on in life. But there should not be making classes of people, as like she said. But I work outside of this. I do work in the wine industry, and I have black customers, white, Hispanic, gay, conservative, good amount of conservative. But I treat everybody the same. As soon as they walk in those doors, I treat them with respect and kindness. Because for one, they're putting money in my pocket, and two, I want them to have a good experience. Over the weekend, I had 2 lesbians in there. It was a girl dressed like a guy with a hat on and a button-down shirt, some jeans on, and then she was with her significant other who was more feminine, and they were obviously, LGBT. They're a part of that community, and I'm pretty sure they vote Democrat, and that didn't matter to me, despite whether I agree with what they do or not. I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't. But whatever their political stance is, it didn't matter to me because they were very nice. I was very nice to them. We joked, we laughed. I went to check on them, make sure they were having a good time, how everything is going, and they tipped. Hey, they stayed for about 3 hours. They were there for a long time, having a great time, and I saw them as people. I didn't see them as I know they were, but I didn't look at them differently because of what they believe in or what their sexual orientation is. To me, that doesn't matter. Like I said, you treat me with respect, I'm going to treat you with the respect that you deserve. They came into those doors and they're very polite. Like I said, they were kind of funny. They made me laugh. they were a little weird. The more feminine one was a little weird, and some of the things that she was saying was actually pretty funny. But I enjoy dealing with people, dealing with good people, and they're there to have a good time. So what this mother says is absolutely right. Now I'm glad that the preview was removed because this is what happens when you put pressure on these people and you want to protect your kids, and you want to have safe spaces for your kids, like a movie. Something's innocent to going to see a movie should not have this pride stuff pushed on them. Look, I love going to the movies because I want to get away from, the world's problems. You go in, you have a couple hours, you have a good time, you have a drink, you have popcorn, whatever it is you do. You're with your family, your significant other, and it's a good a good way to get away from the world's problems, like I said. But I'm glad that people are pushing back on this nonsense because we're seeing more stories like this where things are getting removed because of public pushback. This is how you fight back. This is how you keep children's innocence, and you keep America somewhat normal, that the way it used to be when I was growing up. I was born in the 80s and I grew up in the 90s, and I think a lot of people miss that time in our country when things were not so politicized, not so divisive, and you kept movies at the movies, kept sports, and you didn't put an agenda inside either one of those. And then you let people make their own decisions as well. You don't push things on people. But I wanted to just talk about that story real quick because, like I said, I live in DFW. I've been to this theater before. I worked at one of their locations as a teenager, and I thought it was very interesting. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.